Hey, good afternoon and welcome. Let me just start with a story that probably isn't a story anymore, uh, but something we face and hear on a daily basis. I'm sure you also hear it every day. Candidate applies, brilliant resume. They sail through the assessment, impressive on every interview round. The articulation is great, technically sound, exactly what the business is looking for. You, as talent leaders, say, yes, we've hit the nail. The offer goes out, and on day one, someone walks in who is not the person you interviewed. Quite common to hear. It's not something which is similar to the person who's just come in, but somebody who's a completely different human being, a little more rusty. Initially, for years, this has basically been a screen share problem, but today it's an second devices running in parallel. We are having AI earpieces feeding answers in real time. The fraud didn't disappear when the hiring went virtual. It actually got better resourced. I'm sure you can resonate to all of this. And to be really honest, this has aimed and grown a lot when it comes to tech roles, right? Because that's where the access and the leverage sits. So here's the uncomfortable truth that we are all going to sit for the next 30 minutes. Virtual hiring is the default now. We are not going back. We all know that. The question is no longer how do we stop this, but it's got to do more about with I would say what's the trust? How do we build that trust which will survive the scale? And that's why we got together with you all to understand and have your perspective around this is what's going on inside the Gen AI fraud playbook, and just as importantly, inside the defense playbook. So this is just what we wanted to connect and talk to you about. And I could not have asked for people more sharper than you all on the panel, right? Um, Fortunately, unfortunately, we were fortunate that we had three leading TA heads talking about it, but unfortunately, one of them had to drop off at the last moment because of certain priorities coming at our end. So we apologize for that. Some things are beyond our control. So great. It's actually great to have Pravanjan, you, and Yogesh today. So Pravanjan, you've been heading talent acquisition at BirlaSoft. Spent almost 2 decades building talent strategies that scale and transform. You've been running high volume hirings, lateral campus, strategic resourcing, leadership recruitments across geographies. You've been living at the intersection of people inside data and HR technology. Exactly the toolkit this problem demands. Yogesh, you've been leading the talent acquisition at Attain, and you bring over 17 years of global talent acquisition across IT, sales, leadership hiring in markets all over the world. Anyone better cannot understand the real tension which exists between hiring fast and hiring right. I'm sure you will have insights around this where velocity and integrity collide. So that's what we wanted to talk about. We are all talking about one shared challenge here: protecting the integrity of the hire in an age where the candidate on the screen may not be the candidate at all. So it'll be great uh, to hear from y'all around these challenges, which you must be hearing day in, day out, facing day in, day out in your organizations as well. We all know that proxy fraud is in new right now. Screen sharing, second devices running in parallel, AI earpieces feeding answers. Because what this actually is leading to is the difference of the candidate who applied, passed the assessment, and cleared every round is not actually the person joining on day one. It would be great to have your thoughts around the same. Over to you all, please.
So, first of all, thank you very much, Varun. I think you opened up so well, and I'm really excited to, think about certain scenarios in my mind. When you were talking about it, how we had faced it earlier, and typically in post-COVID era, in starting in 2021 and 2022, it was at its peak. And definitely every day we used to find a new way of fraudulent case coming in. Impersonation was its all high time peak. Whatever you have said, I could relate to. But I think what is more important for an organization is how much I would say resilient you become in terms of these situations, and you become more and more robust processes and toolkits. So we tried and just to start with, I remember a case in 2022 when I was in my previous organization. So Birlasoft I have joined last year. Before that I was with Sopra Steria. I remember in 2022, one day one of the delivery heads, literally he was running to me, came running to me and said, we are in a very, very critical situation, um, and you have to help us. I said, what happened? And then once I spoke to him, what we discovered, there was a senior poke. I would, he was an architect level whom we had hired, and you know it was a high stake requirement, and we had also discussed with customer, uh, and customer was expecting this person, and they had also some dependencies, and a lot of deliverables were aligned to this person. uh, and the person joined, and he was not the person who was interviewed and got through the different level of interactions and all. And this person was actually, he was knowing nothing in terms of what was expected. So the credibility was almost broken from from the customer perspective, and then customer to customer perspective and everything. And then we started thinking, what shall we do, how to handle these kind of situations, although we had already brought a lot of stringent processes. For example, if somebody's coming for an interview, uh, national ID based validation we had brought in, screen capturing. We were very vigilant in terms of bringing those proctored environment of assessment. Then uh, we tried for personal interviews, but unfortunately in that case there was no personal interview happened, because that person was not available in that particular town. So, in spite of bringing whatever we could do, still, we were facing those kind of issues. So, ultimately, you know, um, what we have done is, at least, if you ask me, uh, this problem has a great solution until somebody brings in a new, way of going out of it. So, one thing what we brought is we brought an proctored assessment. Uh, National ID based checks in the beginning. So a person coming in, the validation is happening based on the national ID of that individual. Then the same person is moving to L1. Then again in L1 interview, the facial recognition based uh, match is happening. Then in L2, the same data flows. The system again tracks and matches. And then towards the end, when the person comes for the joining again, the same thing happens, based on this facial recognition. It is being checked that whether the resume which came in, the person who was assessed on bot enabled interview, then L1, then L2, then at the time of joining, is everything matching or not. And then during the proctored enabled assessments also, we had checked. In fact, we have put a lot of strong validation in terms of flagging. So whenever somebody is even uh, you know I would say not a severe deflection, but even a small deflection is catching as a flag over there. So we used to go and check as per the timestamp there how that person is doing. So we tried to bring a lot of things at different stages, so that such kind of fraudulent cases can be avoided. But uh, you know the most, I would say, difficult thing is, like you said, uh, you never know whether screen is being shared, right? And in many proctored environment, system is not able to catch that whether the screen is being shared. And but there are certain platforms which are catching it up. So I think I have a lot more to share and talk, but I think let's hear from Yogesh, and then probably you can go back.
Thanks, Prasoon. So, Varun, I think there are two different things. One is forging the interview. Another is the person who is giving the interview and the completely different person who is joining on the day one. So, in my experience, the problem that the completely different person is joining on the day one is it's a decade old problem, and it's been happening for a good time. And of course, I also had to face similar kind of situations where there was an interview with us, but the person was supposed to join at the client location. So the person thought that nobody will come to know that who gave the interview and who joined at the client location, and the completely different person joined there. Fortunately, one of our representative was there at the customer location, and we found that the person is not same, and we took a proactive step and informed the client that there is something fishy, and we want to investigate it. But now, I'll be true here, we are not facing this issue. The issue we are facing is forging the interview. The person is same who is giving the interview and who is joining, but there is a gap in the knowledge of the person because there was screen share and a lot of this. This is the real time challenge now because of the AI and the screen sharing and a lot of different tech platforms available. So as person is very right that uh, you cannot completely check that if the screen is being shared because still platforms are evolving. So our take that what we are doing, we are trying to do technical assessment more on the troubleshooting side to check the real time scenario so that it's not the generic the technical assessment that person can think of and can prepare of and can do some multiple platforms available to give the answer. So our intent is to give some real time troubleshooting kind of situation where it is required to be thinking in the problem rather than just googling out or getting the information from some AI tool. So that's how we are able to filter the crowd which is faking the knowledge they are having. In fact, the person who is giving the interview, it's not that they don't know anything. The problem is they have little knowledge, but they are showing that they are working on the tools which recently came in the picture. So a lot of in fact things starting from the resume screening only. So there is definitely a lot of mistakes. Like it's saying if अगर कहीं भी चोरी होती है, तो there is always a sign behind it. So if you screen the resume, you'll get to know the candidate is saying that he or she has experience from 5 years, but the skill is existing from last 2 years. So these are kind of the things which of course with the help of the latest platforms that we are using with the human assistance that we are doing. So our problem is faking the knowledge, not exactly joining the completely different person, and we are trying to solve it with the latest platforms.
Absolutely. I think two things very evidently came out from what you both said. Obviously, we are all aware about deepfake, AI-assisted identity fraud, proxy interview, because these these have great repercussions. That's what we've all heard from businesses. What happens is, one, obviously, you have uh, client SLA breaches which are happening. There is higher early attrition which is happening and which is leading to repeated hiring costs as well, right? And the biggest is the what we have heard from clients across the globe is that insider threat and data security exposure. That's another one which is very critical considering the kind of business in which you are operating with your data as well as your clients' data as well. So we all agree and we all know that, and we have all accepted that virtual hiring is going to be the default right now, right? We're not going back. So And we all know that it's usually the technical assessment stage where the maximum malpractices happen. So it'll be great to hear from you both. What specific controls do you want to take, or have been taking, or have been hearing, which forced you to take those steps? And how have you been seeing it getting better and getting caught at the right stages as well?
Mm. So, I think very, I would say, apt question, Varun. So, typically, I think, like Yogesh was talking about, it starts from the resume. I think more and more authenticity is missing in the resumes nowadays. Let me be very honest with you. And that is why, so what we have done is, we have first brought, I think, AI enabled screening. Now, the problem with AI enabled screening is all the resumes are coming with fantastic information being fed in that particular resume, which is almost 200% matching to the CV, sorry, to the JD. So it will pass the screening, right? And so actually AI enabled screening, I don't take it as a real screening. It's just, since we have to do it, we are doing it. Let me be very honest with you. It's a tick in the box, but we are not getting the right kind of results. Then we have bought the next screening, which is one-way interview, wherein a bot is taking around 25 to 30 minutes of interview of that individual, wherein initial screening is happening on the technology part, little deep dive, not I would say a deeper kind of an interview, but a high level kind of a screening process that I consider as one of the in an effective way of screening the resume. So once we and let me tell you, today, if we put 100 uh, post AI screened resume for bot interview, typically 30 to 35% we are getting as good to go. And that too, when we are putting a threshold of close to 70%, right? So 70 to 75%. So I think once we get that, then we get into the virtual interview process, and that's where the AI enabled proctoring is helping us. And like I was telling a few minutes ago, it's helping us, and it's helping us up to a great extent, no doubt about it. But still, we feel that we are not able to put control on certain things. Specifically, recently what I've heard is, uh, one person did something. We don't know how he did it, but that person did something, and somebody else was, uh, in fact, the screen mirroring kind of thing was happening, and somebody else was talking over there to this particular person, and he was having some microchip or something, and then he was speaking about it. So this is all how he did it, in spite of having a great proctoring platform. Even we have gone through the recording for multiple times, but at least I could not able to understand that how this person has done it. It was as real as you can imagine. So I don't know, how to put control on these things. Like Yogesh was also telling, that tools are evolving, such. So I am also expecting that something better will come. But yeah, we are able to control it up to a great extent. With so three things. One is, I think, AI enabled screening is it is a, I would say, a pretty generic thing. But bot enabled one way interview is helping us a lot. And then on top of it, AI enabled proctored virtual interview, human interview, virtual human interview. And I think it's important to talk about human nowadays. So the human interview, it's a two-way interview, and we are bringing a lot of control there. And after that, if we are hiring up to a certain level, we still insist those to come to office and have a face-to-face meeting, because you see, nothing can replace a face-to-face interaction, at least towards the end. It's very important to understand sometimes. So we are also trying to push for certain level and above. Of course, at a junior level, we try to let go, but we wish that we could do it for all the levels. So that's how we are trying to just bring all the controls in the system right now.
You want to say something, Varun?
No, no, I wanted to say, Yogesh, your thoughts. I'm sure you can resonate a lot with all of this, but I'm sure there'll be something else that you also have to add on.
Definitely. I mean, it's a similar kind of things. We are also evaluating the tools which can help us in sentiment check as well, which can bring in some information there, along with that, the national ID check. If, you know, specifically for few roles, sentiment checks, we get to know that, how where the entire interview is going. And of course, we also do the in-person interviews for some, at least for the senior positions. But the problem is in today's world, the knowledge is very important, and we have to hire the people wherever they are. They are maybe in tier two, tier three cities where we don't have offices, and this is with every organization, and we have to hire them. And probably it is not possible to get the in-person interview for all of the locations. So yes, the virtual interviews, to make them as real, as close to in-person interaction, we try to do so. And what I think the problem is not the people are using AI tools for cracking the interview. The problem is how smart the people actually are, because anyway when they join they will be using AI for their day-to-day work. The problem is they should know which tool to use, how to use, uh, which data should be used. The data should not be leaked. We cannot, what data we cannot share, which kind of data we cannot share, on which platform it should be confidential. So this is more important nowadays. I think the people definitely know how to use the prompt. The organization are building their own AI tools. uh, the time it was taken earlier to write down a code, or maybe 4 to 5 days. Now it is being written in some couple of minutes. So eventually the organizations are using it. So to reject a candidate purely on the basis of to assumption that the person is not using some tools is not authentic one. But it is important to understand the knowledge or kind of awareness that what should be used, where should be used, and which impact it is going to make for the organization. There should not be any threat for the data. These are the important things that we try to evaluate during the interview process.
I just have one line to sum up everything that you guys said. I just picked it up. It's not AI versus human. In the future, it's all about AI versus AI. Because since AI is getting evolved, it is the human which is required to actually validate which one is the real AI, right? Is it the candidate side or is it the other side? I think that's where the real challenge or where the real next thing is moving right now. That's what I personally feel as well. I know. I know it's been almost 2 decades for you both in the industry, and you guys have seen things evolve from what it was to where it is heading. Um, my question to you is very clear and very straight. If you had to redesign the ideal hiring integrity framework from scratch, what do you think would be some things that uh, you would feel that these need to be fixed so that that leakage, if not completely closed, there can be some ways to fix the current challenges which are there and which are evolving every day.
So let me start very quickly, and I'll be very quick this time. I think if you ask me, I am a strong believer of assessment. Assessment means especially tech assessment when we are hiring, specifically for our technical roles, and I'm a big fan of it. So if you ask me, I will go as per how this Digi things happen. A person's journey should start with facial recognition. The person enters to a platform, uh, and with the facial recognition, the everything starts from there. That matches with the national ID, and then at every level when that person transfers, the same informations would happen. Act and an assessment should be must for every technical role, up to a certain level. And I know there are a lot of platforms today which are providing an excellent way of technical assessment. absolutely perfectly proctored and AI enabled, which is also giving a lot of insights and analytics out of it. Uh, mm, Still, it can be further evolved, but I think that can be added in between, and then towards the end when the person is joining again, uh, a similar kind of facial recognition thing which should be there. A person is joining, and then I will go beyond the joining also. We should also bring some mechanism wherein we can track the person's engagement performance for next at least 3 months, if not 6 months, but at least for next 3 months, and everything should be captured and maintained through one platform end to end. So from I will not say hire to retire, but hire till the initial engagement, right? And then those information can be fed back to the system, which can also help us. For example, if we have hired a Java full stack person, and the way the hiring has been done, the way feedback were given, based on multiple things, and if the person is doing well in the organization in the initial 3 months, the same information can fed back to the tool and system, and then system can also learn based on that and provide that, okay, this way of hiring had helped, so probably you can go ahead and do this kind of assessment for the future hiring as well. So uh, you know in nutshell, hire till initial engagement, that's how I would like to go ahead with.
What I think we are already going in that direction. It's not the matter where I want or we want that how it should go. This will move in the direction where it is going. It is just a matter that when all of these things get mature, and it is not only about the candidates, it is for the good of the organization as well, because if you are using the right assessment tools, security tools, like national ID check and all, on the one side we are able at least to do some check the candidate is genuine. On the other hand, this provides the standardization of the assessment, and the interviewer also able to uh, check the assessments, the analytics after the assessments are detailed one, and there is no biasness from if we are not using any standard tools or the standard assessment process, then of course sometimes maybe interviewer or person on the other side is not able to articulate that where is the gap or think in that direction. So this is helping the organization to hire the right person and to get the right what I'll say outcome out of the entire assessment. And of course, the assessments that we are using for in a bot assisted interviews and all, that also depends in which country we are using, what is the culture there. For example, the pickup rate for a boat call in India may be different than in Philippines, right? Or the person who is doing the technical assessment and more serious about it, maybe different kind of behavior in US as compared to India. So this will take from the globalization point of view as well, that do we need to apply different tools for different countries that we are operating for, understanding about the culture and behavior there. So I don't think it's so far, but we are very close there when we will have all the things very finalized and things will be more matured.
Yeah, I think just to add one point here, you have picked upon a very important aspect of the behavior and understanding of candidates and people of different countries. And one more thing which I had missed in my previous conversation when I was talking about the end-to-end system. I think one thing is also very important is giving a great experience to the candidate. When we are talking about great candidate experience, uh, mm, whether it could be through the processes, it could be through the tools, whatever means we are bringing in, the candidate should be feeling great about the experience, whether he gets an offer, he gets into the system or not. But I think that feeling something which gets through, or he or she gets through, that is something amazing. So I think that will also will be there in the mind when I'll think of designing anything end to end.
Absolutely. I thoroughly enjoyed getting a lot of insights from y'all. I would have loved to have this conversation longer, but we definitely look forward to meeting you all and get some more insights as well. So I really thank both of you for taking time out, giving us insights from the experience that you all have had and gathered. It really resonates with what is happening in the industry. It's exactly what people are talking about. So I thank once again for taking time out and doing this with us. We really mean it. Really means a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Varun. Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye.